In the headlines, Kano State government secures judgment against rape case victim. Gunmen invade palace of Mina Emir, shoot 2 palace guards. Zazzau Emirate suspends district head indefinitely. And on the foreign scene, South Sudanese president promises first election since independence. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin the updates in Kano State, where Usman Shehu Bashir has been sentenced to death for the rape of Fatima Zakaria. The appellant, Usman, was convicted and sentenced to death by hanging for raping a 2-year-old Fatima Zakaria to death. Usman had previously appealed the case at the appellate court, but this was dismissed and the judgment of the lower court upheld. Now, a yet-to-be-identified policeman was killed as a result of a clash between thugs at Yakase area of Kano Municipal. The incident, according to an eyewitness, occurred around 6 p.m. on Tuesday when the supposed thug alighted from a tricycle by Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital but was attacked by other thugs in the area. The eyewitness added that for the past couple of days there has been clashes between thugs in the area. When contacted, the police public relations officer in Kano, SP Abdullah Haruna Kiawa, who said the command is yet to receive any information on the matter, however, noted that there's an investigation that is currently underway. Elsewhere, gunmen suspected to be armed robbers, numbering about 5, on Tuesday invaded the palace of the Emir of Mina, Umar Faruk Bahago, and shot 2 palace guards. The incident reportedly happened around 4 p.m. Reports say the Emir was in the palace while gunmen shot sporadically to scare people away before carting away huge sums of money from the emirate. 2 of the injured police palace guards were reportedly taken to Mina General Hospital for medical attention. It was gathered that one of the staff of the palace, who was reportedly sent to the bank to get some cash, was trailed back to the palace by the gunmen who drove in using a private car. One of the eyewitnesses, who pleaded anonymity, said the criminals overpowered the vigilantes who were stationed in the palace. The Niger State Police Command is yet to confirm the incident. Now, residents of communities recently attacked by gunmen in Mungu area of Plateau State say peace is gradually returning to the area. The affected residents, who spoke on the current situation in the area, applauded the state government and security agencies for restoring peace and stability to the areas. Ado Musa tells us more.
Many farming communities in Mungu local government area had in recent time come under severe attacks, with reports indicating that several people were killed in the areas and properties worth millions of naira destroyed. Worried by the incident, the State Commissioner of Police and other security agencies deployed security personnel to the affected areas to restore law and order. Some of the IDPs speak on the situation and hope that the ugly incident of the past will not be experienced again.
Some of us didn't come out of anything. We only came out with ourselves and our children. We didn't have anything to give our children, but with God.
Nothing like that will happen to anybody. I am praying that these things should stop in Nigeria. I think enough should be done.
The Youth Wing chairman of Magavul Development Association, Manji Daniel, also appreciated the effort of the state government in restoring peace in the areas.
I still want to appreciate the President Governor of Plateau State, as His Excellency Barrister Caleb Mutfang, because he's just a month and some days in office. But with his coming, we have seen some response, because the mobile that are there, just from the call we have been doing, they have been trying to help in the situation in our various communities, and they are still trying to protect the enemies from coming to invade the main town.
With the relative peace being restored in Mungu General area, many IDPs hope to go back home and continue with their normal lives. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Nigerian Senate has set up a 7-man ad hoc committee led by Senator Abdul Lingi to investigate the abandonment of the East-West Road project in the Niger Delta region, despite gulping hundreds of billions of naira. The resolution followed a motion by a senator representing the area, amongst other motions debated in the Red Chamber, just as majority and minority leadership of the Senate emerged. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman has more.
The Senate resumed plenary on Tuesday after Salah break. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while tasking the 10th National Assembly to put the people first in discharging its responsibilities, announced the names of both majority and minority leadership of the Senate. Senators then begin deliberations on motions bordering on extortion and dehumanization of Nigerians by some police personnel, incessant building collapse, continuous killings on the Plateau and other parts of Nigeria. The lawmakers also raised concern over the prolonged East-West Road project spanning 3 administrations and gulping hundreds of billions of naira without completion.
Personally, I have more than 1,000 cows. Today, I don't have a single one. They are all been stolen. My farm has been taken over by bandits. My people cannot go 1 kilometer outside the town to go to their farm. And the sad thing is, I'm not sure any federal government agency knew about our predicament. Everybody was just silent, as if we don't belong to this country.
One of the primary functions of government is the security of lives and property. It is not an issue you can easily exhaust. So we've agreed that we will set aside a particular sitting or a day to make sure we look into the insecurity issue in the country, so that we can bring lasting solution to it.
The magnitude of the situation led to the setting up of a 7-man committee chaired by Senator Abdul Lingi to holistically investigate the matter and report back within 4 weeks. The Senate also urged the Inspector General of Police to investigate cases of extortion, harassment and dehumanization of Nigerians by some police officers on the highways and report back through the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Ogun State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its governorship candidate, Ladi Adebutu, on Tuesday, stormed the Election Petition Tribunal in the state with 8,000 documents as exhibits against the victory of Governor Dapo Abiodun at the March 18 governorship election. Adebutu, in the petition, is challenging victory of Governor Abiodun based on alleged non-compliance to the Electoral Act and corrupt practices during the election. Counsel to Adebutu, Godi Uche, SAN, prayed the 3-man panel to admit the documents as evidence against Governor Abiodun. In his submission, counsel to APC, Kunle Kalejaye, SAN, accused the petitioner of attempting to railroad the court into admitting documents as evidence.
In fact, we also yesterday filed a schedule of documents where we listed all the documents we are going to tender. It's about 98 pages document. It will contain about 8,000 INEC forms, documents, BVAS reports, EC8As, voters registers, and even the printout from the IREV. We have everything to tender today. But we brought all these documents to the tribunal. Our opponents, the respondents, said they need time to go and look at them. Well, in the interest of fair hearing, we agreed that they can go and look at them, but we asked the tribunal for us to come back tomorrow, that 1 day should be enough for them to look at it, but they have been pleading with the court to give them 2 days, so the tribunal has graciously granted 2 days.
It's the duty of the petitioner to open his case, and we discovered that the documents that they brought, they ought to have given us notice for us to come and look at the documents, because these are their own documents which they want to tender. So we have to inspect them to be sure whether we are objecting or not objecting. So the order given by the tribunal was that they should have invited us to come and look at those documents. So they just sprung the documents on us this morning. So we told the tribunal that we will not allow ourselves to be eroded.
Elsewhere, the 3-man panel of the tribunal headed by Justice Victor Ovie on Tuesday admitted all INEC forms from polling units and local government areas of Kano State tendered as exhibit by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its governorship candidate in the recently conducted governorship election in the state, Isa Ashiru. The petitioners, through one of its councils, Ajewale SN, also submitted voters' register for 40 polling units with reference to Kaduna South local government area as parts of the exhibit for the petition. Here's the report.
The PDP council also submitted exhibit from Giwa, Chikun, Igabi, Kachia, Kaduna North local government areas. They also had exhibit from Kaduna South, Kagarku, Kubau, Kudang, Lere, Sabongari, and Zaria, respectively.
The day's proceedings was to enable petitioners to tender the certified true copies of the exhibits that we intend to use in prosecution of the petition. So we have done that substantially. The documents are in, and this now gives us a platform, for the other documents that we are expecting from INEC on subpoena to come before the courts, and then that will now pave the way for the hearing of oral evidence in the petition.
Earlier, the counsel to INEC and Obasani argued that the petitioners' counsel had breached the court order, which instructed that all counsels should meet for uptaking of the exhibit before the presentation.
The court resumed continuation of hearing of the matter today at the instance of the petitioners. Like they have 6 weeks within which to open and close their case. And today they've been able to assemble quite a number of documents which they tendered through the bar. And we have indicated our intention to oppose to certain documents.
The case has been adjourned till 10th July 2023 for the continuation of the presentation of exhibit by the petitioners' counsel. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still staying in Kaduna, the Zazzau Emirate Council in the state has suspended a traditional title holder in the emirate, Alhaji Mustafa Adamu, for flogging an alleged homosexual in the Zaria local government area of the state. This was confirmed in a statement by the Information and Communication Officer of the Zazzau Emirate Council, Abdullahi Aliyu. He said the suspension of Adamu, who holds the title of Marafanyamman Zazzau, was as a result of him taking laws into his hands by flogging one Yusuf Yahaya, popularly known as Sabo of Ungwa Magajia in Zaria City, with 60 strokes of cane. According to Aliyu, the suspension was indefinite and with immediate effect. The statement warned that the Zazzau Emirate will not condone any act that violates laws and orders from any traditional title holder in the community. It also advises traditional title holders to always refer cases before them to the constituted authorities for proper adjudication rather than taking the laws into their own hands. In a swift reaction to his suspension, Adamu says he caught Yusuf Yahaya in the act, and hence he decided to discipline him by giving him 60 strokes of cane as a deterrent. He, however, expressed disappointment over the hasty decision taken against him by the Zazzau Emirate Council without giving him a fair hearing. He also accused some members of the Emirate Council of fueling the matter. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come, we take a look at how Nigerians are coping with the rising cost of inflation. More details after the break. Welcome back to the news update, and thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. The Kano State government has secured a judgment against a rape case victim. Gunmen invade palace of Mina Emir, shoot 2 palace guards. Now, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has tasked the Acting Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, to deploy his tactical team to assist the Oyo State Police Command in unmasking the killers of Professor Opemi Isaac Ajewale Oshu, the ASU State Chapter Chairman of the University of Ibadan, Professor Ayo Akinwole. He made the call after a valedictory congress in honor of the slain professor. Here's the report.
Barely a month after his death, the Academic Staff Union of University of Ibadan says it is not happy that the killers of their colleague and their motives are yet to be unearthed by the police. Professor Akinwole said the Acting Inspector General of Police should take passionate interest in the case and deploy the necessary technical expertise to unravel the mystery surrounding the killing so that the evil people will be made to face the wrath of the law. Professor Omole said that though the university community grieves over the death, it will celebrate the gallantry and contributions the late Professor Isaac Ajewale made to the academic community and the union.
Our heart is heavy. We cannot hide our anger and frustration at the government and the rulers of this world for allowing such a productive life to be cut short. A committed comrade was taken away from us so too soon and in such a heartless manner by the never-do-well of the society.
If we had lived 8 years, maybe he wouldn't have had this impact. Yes, he took his exit when the ovation was loudest, but it's the manner that we are bothered about.
A clergy, Reverend Samson Ajetomobi, in his message, condemned the barbaric murder of the late university professor, praying that God will fish out his assailants.
God hates hands that can pull the trigger against an innocent man going home from his office. Don't tell me the nation is not secure. We've all been living here. We all know it is not secure. Is that okay? And all those who kill all the people will not go innocent.
Professor Ajewale was gruesomely gunned down by yet-to-be identified assailants on Monday, June 5th in Ibadan, Oyo State.
Quite a sad development there. Now, amidst rising cost of living in Nigeria, many Nigerians are adjusting their consumption habits to cope with soaring prices of food commodities. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail speaks to some residents in Gombe State on the struggle to adapt to the new normal in the wake of Nigeria's rising inflation. His report.
Abubakar Ahmad is a school teacher residing in Gombe State capital. Like many other Nigerians, the father of one now pays more for food and transport fares, a situation that makes life difficult for him. Abubakar, who is married to one wife, had to adjust his spending to be able to cater for the family due to exorbitant prices of food items and high cost of living generally.
To dai lalle ilalla gaskiya na adjusting saboda yanayin tsadin shi.
To be honest, I have adjusted my spending on food due to inflation. Before, with 1,000 naira, you can buy 2 measures of rice, but now you can't because of the soaring prices. Yusuf Ibrahim is a civil servant. He says his salary cannot buy food that will sustain the family for 20 days. And cannot afford a 3 square meal daily due to soaring prices of food commodities in the market.
Rice is about 1,000. Maize gari is 700 naira as of now, and then they are saying that they will increase the price of it. Therefore, it affects me. I cannot cook for 3 square meal in a day. I used to cook only 1 or 2 if it happens, unless people are helping me. So this thing is critically affecting us, more especially me. I have 10 children.
Farashin mai an tashi aka cire subsidy. Gaskiya yanzu komai ya tashi.
The inflation is due to the fuel subsidy removal. Price of everything has doubled. A bag of maize that sold 20,000 now sells 40,000 naira. With the removal of fuel subsidy, the World Bank has projected that Nigeria's inflation rate might rise to 25% by the end of 2023. It's less than 6 months to the period, and Nigerians are already feeling the impact. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now let's bring you up to speed with developments on the international scene, and we start in South Sudan, where the South Sudanese President Salva Kiir has pledged that elections previously postponed and now have been scheduled for next year would go ahead as planned, and that he would be running for president. Salva Kiir, a prominent warlord, is the only president South Sudan had known since he led the country to independence from Sudan in 2011. The world's youngest country has since gone from crisis to crisis, held together only by a fragile government of national unity created after a peace agreement between Salva Kiir and then Vice President Riek Machar. After a transition period, elections were due to be held in February of 2023, but the government has so far failed to meet key clauses of the agreement between Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, including the drafting of a constitution. In August, the two leaders extended their transitional government for 2 years beyond the scheduled date, citing difficulties in implementing their peace agreement. South Sudan, one of the world's poorest countries despite significant oil reserves, has spent almost half of its existence at war. Nearly 400,000 people perished during a 5-year civil war until Salva Kiir and Riek Machar signed a peace agreement in 2018. 15 people died and 4 were missing after torrential rain lashed the metropolis of Chongqing and swathes of southwestern China for weeks, being hit by extreme weather from heavy rains to intense heat waves, the frequency of which is increasing as global temperatures continue to soar. Residents in the capital Beijing and dozens of other areas have been warned to stay indoors as temperatures soar past 35 degrees Celsius. And in one of the deadliest natural disasters to occur in China so far this year, torrential rains in Chongqing this week killed 15 persons and left 4 others missing. Images from state broadcaster CCTV posted on social media showed torrents of muddy water in Chongqing's heavily affected Guangzhou district, overflowing embankments and pieces of debris being swept away. And the Communist Party-backed People's Daily posted photos of ongoing rescue efforts on Wednesday showing emergency responders helping residents evacuate flooded residential areas. On the outskirts of Chongqing, workers discovered that a closed-off railway bridge had collapsed after it was damaged by the impact of mountain torrents. Now, Morle Cisse, head coach of Guinea's under-23 team, has expressed an even greater appetite to secure a place in the Paris Olympics following their narrow defeat in the first semi-final of the Torenages CAF Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations 2023, played in Tangiers on Tuesday. Despite their 1-0 loss in the semi-final against holders Egypt, the Guinea team now faces the challenge of winning the upcoming playoff game on Friday to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics. Cisse took the opportunity to apologize to the people of Guinea for not guiding the team to the finals. He urged the Guinean population to continue dreaming big and support the young players as the country possesses great football potential. With their hunger for Olympic qualification intensified, Guinea's under-23 team will strive to bounce back from their semi-final defeat and secure their place in the prestigious Paris Olympics. And in tennis, Andy Murray maintained his record of never losing in the Wimbledon first round with an encouraging victory over fellow Briton Ryan Peniston. Two-time champion Murray, ranked 40th in the world, started slowly against wildcard Peniston on the centre court. But the Scot showed his greater class to fight off nearly off the breakpoint before going up a gear to win 6-3, 6-love, 6-1. British number one Cameron Norrie, a semi-finalist last year, won 6-3, 4-6, 6-1, 6-4 against Czech Thomas Makach. But Dan Evans, seeded 27th in the world, lost 6-2, 6-3, 6-7 and 6-4 to France's Quentin Halles. The home quartet were among the small number of players who could compete their first round matches on Tuesday, with all British affair between Andy Murray and world number 268 Peniston taking place under the centre court roof, where Evans also played in a late night finish. In between, as the rain that decimated the two beat down on the court on 1-1 roof, 12-seed Norrie came through a tricky test against qualifier Makach on a court where he won in the last 16 and quarterfinals last year. Norrie produced a largely composed display as he started his bid to replicate the best Grand Slam run of his career. And that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Many thanks for your time and company. Feel free to follow us across our social media platforms for more. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.